I mean,
Yeah.
Starside itself, I mean, you guys have so much like volume just to like disperse and tell about. How did you guys even get like this far into your story, and where did it come from to like become this epic journey of yours?
Um, well, it was a story idea that I had kind of been like just morphing throughout the many years before I met Lane. And one day it just kind of like came out that I had the story idea that like I wanted to do something with. And, Lane went to school for film, and I just felt like, oh, if I'm gonna tell this to somebody, it's probably gonna be her. And so,
well, really, in my memory, it was Dylan saying one time casually, like, oh, I've got the story idea. I don't know, I've been working on it a long time, but I don't really tell people about it. I was like, well, I'm going to make you tell me. I'm going to find a way to pry it out of you.
And yeah, and just, I feel like I always wanted to do it in a comic medium. I liked sort of, I wanted people to know what certain things looked like. And I was just like, well, comic is the best way. And it was also around the time where I'd kind of gotten back into comics. Like before I met Lane, I started diving back in a little bit.
Reading them.
Yeah, reading them. And so it's just like, yeah, I think that's definitely what I'd like to do. And then met Lane, we kind of just started writing out stuff, and like it's really come a long way. Like like where the story was like 7 years ago is in a very different place. I think also too, working with Jordan, our artist, was super helpful to kind of help reel the story in, because it was like a lot more longer winded of a tale. And I think just working with two other collaborators really kind of, it helps put the story in perspective. And so like, I think I used to always be afraid, oh my gosh, this thing's going to be so long, and it will be a very long story. And volume 1 sort of acts as like just a little taste of the world. And then we're starting to really like flesh out volume 2 and even beyond that. And it just like that, it's going to feel like a whole different story in a good way, I think. We like stories that like, it takes their time. You know what I mean? You stay on these little moments, because if you show these characters in these little moments, you start to feel a little bit more attached to them. And so, I just didn't like the thought of like opening up the book and like we're already, I don't know, like it's just so much stuff going on. Like I want the reader to feel like they're going on this journey, like our main character is. And I definitely turn that into a rant and not actually.
No, that's so much to unpack. That's so great. Like,
oh, go ahead.
Oh no, my bad. I was. I mean, there's so much to unpack there. That's super awesome because, like, I mean, for one, like, how was the argument hearing like comics was the visual way to present the story to a film, major over here? How did that go back and forth? Like,
well, it wasn't that difficult. I think since college, I haven't been fortunate enough to like really do anything with my film major. And, I also just love writing in general and love stories in all media. And so there was really just a conversation about what is the best medium for this story? Like, is it a series of novels? Is it, do we write a pilot for a TV series? And I think mostly the conversation was about like, what's the best way to get it out there? Not only to tell the story, but also just to like make it exist and make sure that it exists. And being able to create and self-publish and crowdfund, to be lucky enough to have people interested to crowdfund it, just made it possible. And then we were also I guess we decided to do it as a comic, and then we were fortunate enough to have Jordan as part of our family. Basically, he was my best friend's brother. And we were
phenomenal artist too. I mean, it's very breathtaking from the moment you turn the first page. Yeah, great,
Thank you so much.
Skills. Yeah.
I know it was destiny. But yeah, I kind of knew it wasn't very practical for us to try to make it into a movie. We weren't, I just, with the world we wanted to build, we weren't going to make it ourselves, and kind of writing a screenplay for it and hoping that someone would be interested in these two random people who no one knows writing us like that. It just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I feel you there. Yeah, I dabbled a lot in film. I was trying to dabble a lot in film. I'll say, like right before I really got lucky where comics were taking off, because it was like when I was a English major, I was like either my prose is going to take me somewhere, my film scripts are going to take me somewhere, or I wish, but my comics would take me somewhere. And I was like, whichever one gets my foot out the door first is the one I'm just going to heavily lean into. And it looked like film was going to be the choice there for a bit. And gosh, that hair just went straight in my mouth. And then and I kind of realized like how like intense and like difficult it was to like even bring a crew together to like have something happen in a weekend, or finding the right spots to shoot things. And we did this really cool fun like little short film, and then we had everything planned after that, but it would fall apart because once you're missing one key person, it's like we need that one key person. Like, the other 6 of us can hang out, but that one person can't. And just scheduling like got crazy. But in regards to Starside, I think it's really cool because like you kind of really need like a fun cinematic approach to that story too. And I think it really does have that flair, and that must come from how you guys are writing the scripts, or the direction, or, references, or, how you communicate with the artist, because it's like that type of like sci-fi and fun and just like world building. It doesn't just like it's really hard to contain in just like a singular person's view and scope, which is why I think it's super interesting. You felt like you needed to have other people join you on this and collaborate with it, because something on that big of a scale, like I think of the first like Coheed and Cambria comics. I don't know if you guys, not a lot. I don't know if anyone's
I'm a huge fan.
Oh, rad. Me too. I love Coheed and Cambria. Yeah, you will totally understand. Okay, the Amory Wars first like volume or two when Claudio was writing it, not the best.
Yeah,
it really isn't that great. Yeah, and especially when we got to like not No World, Good Apollo, Burning Star 4, like the one where I ripped off the title from my podcast and publishing imprint. But like once you get to that one, and he did that graphic novel where he did it with an artist that just didn't fit right, and it was just like bad storytelling. It just didn't work. But collaborated with his wife, and then she started writing the comic with him, and all of a sudden like they redid that volume, and then No World for Tomorrow, the first issue, just came out recently. I don't know if you read that. Yeah,
I know, not yet. I've been meaning to just start over, and I think once the collected volume of No World comes out, that's probably when I'm going to just jump on board.
Yeah, good call. I actually restarted last year, and so I read all of them except for Year of the Black Rainbow. I haven't read the novel yet.
Okay, but I know they've discussed doing comics for it, so
I'm hoping that. It'd be cool to get Afterman comics too. So.
I know. I mean, that's like my favorite. The double album is probably my favorite.
So good. I can rant about Coheed all day though.
We'll have a chat afterwards.
Yeah, we'll hang out this next weekend. We'll have a nice good Coheed chat.
Sounds good to me.
But